If you're a diehard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. The Cleveland Browns are staying silent, and that silence is deafening, especially when it comes to one of the most beloved, battle-hardened, and quietly determined players in recent memory, Nick Chubb. As the offseason swirls with speculation and whispers, one thing is becoming clear. The Browns aren't making any public promises to their star running back. No declarations of loyalty. No reassurances of a contract. Just silence. But Nick Chubb? He's not staying quiet. Not anymore. The rumors have started, as they always do this time of year. A flicker of hope here, a spark of speculation there, and suddenly, fans in Cleveland are clinging to the idea that maybe, just maybe, Nick Chubb's story with the Browns isn't over yet. Maybe the end isn't written. Maybe there's a twist in the tale that no one saw coming. Chubb, after all, is still sitting on the free agent market. And as the days tick by, it becomes more and more apparent what the NFL thinks of a 29-year-old running back coming off two brutal injuries in 2 consecutive seasons. The league, cold and calculating as ever, seems hesitant to take the leap. The offers, if they're coming at all, are cautious. Conservative, barely more than whispers in the wind. But those whispers don't define Nick Chubb. His legacy isn't measured in contracts or front office decisions. It's written in broken tackles, relentless runs, and a quiet, unshakable will to fight back. He wasn't supposed to be a star when he entered the league. Drafted 35th overall in 2018, Chubb arrived with something to prove. And he did just that. Nearly 1,000 rushing yards in his rookie year. And he wasn't even the full-time starter for much of it. Then, for straight seasons with over 1,000 rushing yards. Dominant, consistent, fearless. He was the engine of the Browns' offense, the heartbeat of their ground game. But then came the injuries. First, in 2023, a devastating leg injury just 2 games into the season, a moment that stunned teammates and fans alike. Then, as he tried to make his way back in 2024, a broken foot cut his comeback short. His numbers dipped. Just 332 rushing yards on 102 carries. 3 touchdowns. A career-low 3.3 yards per carry. In the brutal business of the NFL, those stats matter. And for some, they're all that matter. Yet for Nick Chubb, this moment, this uncertain, uncomfortable, unforgiving moment, is something different. It's not the end of the story. It's the beginning of something else. Something more personal. Something deeper. Because Chubb just made a promise of his own. "They've already wrote my ending when I'm just getting started," he posted recently. Simple, direct, unapologetic, and completely in character for a man who has always let his actions speak louder than words. He's not begging for a second chance. He's not pleading with teams to notice him. He's just getting to work. In silence. In the shadows. Grinding for that next opportunity, wherever it may come from. Could it be Cleveland again? Maybe. The Browns haven't shut the door completely. There's still a possibility, even if it feels more like a foot in the door than an open invitation. Some insiders believe the team might circle back with a 1-year offer, perhaps a heavily incentivized deal with low guarantees. A prove-it contract. A second chance dressed up as a final test. And maybe that would be enough. The Browns are likely to draft a running back this year, a move that would signal a shift in the backfield, especially with Jerome Ford continuing to develop. But even with fresh legs coming in, there's something powerful about experience. About leadership. About resilience. There's something about Nick Chubb. He's never been flashy, never been loud, never been the type to demand attention. But when the pads go on and the ball is snapped, he becomes something else entirely. A force of nature, a freight train with vision and balance, a punisher of defenders and a savior for quarterbacks. And despite everything, the surgeries, the rehab, the doubts, he still believes that player is inside him. So the question isn't just whether the Browns will offer him a deal. It's whether the league still believes in stories like this, comebacks not fueled by hype, but by heart. Because somewhere, in some weight room, in some silent corner of his off-season grind, Nick Chubb is preparing. He's lifting, running, studying, remembering every headline that counted him out, every statistic used as proof that he's finished, every cold calculation from executives who see age and injury and miss the fire beneath it all. And make no mistake, that fire is still burning. This isn't just about redemption. It's about rewriting the narrative. about proving that toughness doesn't fade, that legacy can't be measured in yards per carry alone, that the soul of a team can't be replaced by youth and potential. So where does he go from here? Will he return to the only NFL home he's ever known, donning the orange and brown one more time for a final, furious chapter? Or will another team take the risk, seeing not a broken-down back, but a man ready to explode with something to prove? Nick Chubb doesn't need a perfect opportunity. He just needs a shot. And for those who have already written his football obituary, for the critics, the analysts, the doubters, Chubb isn't looking for revenge. He's looking for results. The kind that speak for themselves. The kind that come in the fourth quarter, when the defense is exhausted and the only sound left is the thud of his cleats and the roar of the crowd. They say the NFL is a young man's game. That once you've lost a step, the league moves on without you. But what if that step wasn't lost, just paused? What if the man everyone counted out is just getting started? Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. What if I told you that the face of the Cleveland Browns defense, their relentless pass rushing machine, the reigning defensive player of the year, might be on his way out? Yes, we're talking about that Myles Garrett. In a twist that's shaken Browns Nation to its core, rumors are swirling about a potential departure of one of the most dominant defensive ends in the NFL. This isn't just any offseason chatter. This is a story that could redefine the very identity of Cleveland's football franchise. Myles Garrett has been the heartbeat of the Browns defense since being drafted first overall in 2017. With 6 Pro Bowls, 4 first-team All-Pro selections, and the franchise record for career sacks under his belt, Garrett isn't just a star. He's a legend in the making. His 2023 season was nothing short of historic, capped off by the prestigious Defensive Player of the Year award and a top 5 spot in the NFL Top 100. From electrifying performances like his Week 7 heroics against the Colts to his game-wrecking presence against division rivals like the Steelers, Garrett has cemented himself as a force of nature. So, why would Cleveland even entertain the idea of letting him go? That's the million-dollar question. Whispers around league insiders suggest that behind the scenes, tensions may be simmering. Whether it's about long-term vision, locker room dynamics, or even Garrett's personal ambitions, something feels off. Could it be that Garrett, having carried the weight of Cleveland's defensive hopes for so long, is finally ready to seek a new chapter? Or is this simply a calculated move by the Browns' front office, perhaps leveraging his massive value for a seismic trade package that could reshape their future? Speculation has already begun about potential landing spots. Teams desperate for elite pass rush talent. Think contenders like the Dallas Cowboys, the Baltimore Ravens, or even the San Francisco 49ers, are reportedly watching the situation closely. The idea of Garrett donning a different uniform feels almost unthinkable, yet the NFL is no stranger to blockbuster trades and dramatic exits. If he does leave, the ripple effects would be immediate. Locker room morale, fan loyalty, and the Browns' competitive window would all be thrown into flux. There's a reason Myles Garrett is at the center of every defensive highlight reel. At 6'4" and 272 pounds, Garrett combines rare physical gifts with a relentless motor that terrorizes offensive lines. His explosiveness off the snap is elite, often drawing double teams, sometimes even triple coverage, and still managing to collapse pockets. He doesn't just sack quarterbacks, he dismantles plays before they even begin. His speed, power, and hand technique make him one of the most complete edge rushers in the game today. But what truly sets Garrett apart is his adaptability. He's not a one-trick pass rusher. He's a cerebral defender who studies opponents' tendencies, learns their weaknesses, and exploits them with surgical precision. Whether it's timing a swipe move or using a spin to break free, Garrett can outwit linemen just as easily as he can overpower them. This blend of intellect and raw athleticism is what makes him a nightmare for offensive coordinators and a dream for any defensive coach. Garrett's impact goes far beyond the stat sheet. Yes, the sacks and forced fumbles are eye-popping, but his presence alone alters offensive game plans. Teams have to shift protection schemes, chip with tight ends, and adjust their timing, all because of one man. That kind of gravitational pull is reserved for the game's true elites. His leadership on the field, even in silence, demands respect. He plays with passion but also with discipline, rarely drawing penalties and consistently performing at the highest level under pressure. Off the field, Garrett is equally impressive. He's known for his quiet confidence, thoughtful interviews, and artistic side, often quoting literature or discussing his love for poetry and dinosaurs. In a league often dominated by larger-than-life personas, Garrett remains grounded, focused more on refining his craft than seeking the spotlight. He leads by example, letting his play speak volumes. Whether he stays in Cleveland or finds a new home, there's no question, wherever Myles Garrett goes, greatness follows. For now, it remains just that, a rumor. But in the high-stakes world of professional football, where careers, legacies, and dynasties hinge on single decisions, even whispers can spark wildfires. If Myles Garrett truly is on the verge of leaving Cleveland, we're not just talking about a roster change. We're witnessing the possible fall of a pillar, the unraveling of a defensive empire, and maybe, just maybe, the dawn of something even more unpredictable. Stay tuned. This story is far from over. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!